it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team stand in the way. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Brad Rucker for the touchdown. Grab shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Rolling along here on a Monday. I'm Brandon Beam, joined tonight by Dylan Tyrer, and of course our guy Nate Dogg behind the glass. Dylan, happy Monday to you, my friend. What's happening?
Oh, man. A lot is going on. I got to play in the 97-1 golf outing earlier today at Columbus Country Club. That was a lot of fun. Got some exercise in. I've been thinking about sports all day long in preparation for this. Obviously, Scotty coming off an absolute heater of a weekend.
He's inevitable.
It's crazy. Like, I was listening to the Fan this morning, and, you know, some different people on my way to the course, and guys were talking, you know, is Scotty going to kind of get in the conversation with Tiger? Like, I don't think we're there yet. Like, Tiger was so dominant.
I don't either, but the similarities are there.
The similarities are there. I just saw a graphic. You know, Rory, the amount of major starts it took him for his first, his second, and his third, almost identical with Scotty. The fourth, obviously, it took Rory longer. Scotty's right there. But still, the fan poll today is essentially, will Scotty get double-digit majors?
It's so hard to do. It's tough.
He has to duplicate his last 3 years, essentially, and more.
Two.
So I don't know. For me, I don't see him getting double digits just because the longevity and, you know, the comments over the weekend make you wonder, like, how long Scotty wants to play golf for.
Of course.
But, man, oh, man, is he fun to watch. I did think on Sunday we were going to see a little bit of history when it got to 8 for a bit, when he was leading by 8 strokes just for a couple seconds. I was like, guys, we may be seeing something here.
We may be seeing something special out of him.
No, it's fun.
His control was just outrageous. Like, my wife, she watches golf with me during majors. Like, she's not watching. She's not watching the Barracuda, you know, like I am. She's not watching Stableford, but she will watch the majors and the big tournaments, and she loves going to the Memorial Tournament with me. And she's like, he just doesn't miss. I'm like, no, he doesn't. And when he does miss, he puts it like 4 inches from the hole. And the worst that he ever does is bogey.
Yeah, actually. Like,
you don't see him with like a card and 8 on the scorecard.
Well, the thing that he does too that's crazy is, like, if he doubles or he makes bogey, he just makes birdie the next hole.
Yeah, like, his follow-up holes are just incredible.
Yeah, I think that the actual stat is he does it like 33% of the time, and tour average is 16%.
He doubles it up.
It's like, okay. And that's like a mental thing too, right? Like, that's I'm a little bit bored. Oops, I had a mental lapse. Now I'm going to lock in.
Let me lock in here for a second.
I wish I could do
Did
that.
you channel your inner Scotty today over at the golf classic?
I drove the ball pretty well today, but outside of that, couldn't do anything. I lipped out like 5 putts.
What's the format?
Really,
were we doing a scramble?
Yeah, it was a 4-person scramble. Okay. You know, you could buy your mulligans and such, but it wasn't a great day. You know, we had some good stuff, had some bad stuff. Could have been better.
That's all right. Shout out to my guys over at Columbus Country Club, Ryan and Evan, and everybody over there, staff. I know it was a big day, so glad you had a good day. We got a great show lined up for you here this evening. Dylan, I don't know if you know this or not, but it's Big Ten Media Day starting tomorrow.
Oh, I know.
In Vegas. Austin Ward is in Vegas. We're going to check in with him coming up at 6:30 this evening. Patrick Murphy on his way to Vegas. We're going to check in with him from some unidentified airport.
How many times do you chat with this guy and he's like overseas at an airport traveling, like every time?
So Murph is getting married next year, but I feel like every time that we talk to him on a Friday, he's either A, at a bar, if he's not working here, because he's been working with us like the last few Fridays, he's either A, at a bar, on a bachelor party, on a vacation, or getting ready for some sort of wedding. Like, that's all Pat does.
Patrick on the move.
Yes, that's what he is. So I don't know where he's at in the United States of America, but we will check in with him at 7:15. We'll get into some Michigan stuff. Big story coming out today about Tony Petitti trying to help them out as much as possible with the sanctions looming. So we'll get into that in our next segment. 6:45, more Ryan Day sound from last week with the Bobby Carpenter Show. Continued growth for this team. I think it's going to be imperative for their success. And then in the 7 o'clock hour, since we've got you in here, Dylan, we're going to talk a little CBJ later in the 7 o'clock hour. I feel like this has kind of been the Jackets bridge, because last Thursday we were doing our show at Yogi's. Jeff Svoboda, your guy, Jackets Insider, came by. We talked a little Jackets, talked a little fun with the Ohio State beat. You're an Ohio State alum, just like I am, so we'll have fun with you coming up here at 7:30. Wanted to start off today, though, the annual Cleveland.com poll. I love this. I don't know when the Big Ten did away with their media poll, like their preseason media poll, but they did that. So I was reading this by Stephen Means. Big Ten hierarchy is formed headed into 2025. James Franklin Entering his 12th season as Penn State's coach, has put together a roster that suggests natty or bust. We've heard that. That sounds very familiar to the Buckeyes last season. I think it was Denzel Burke last spring who said natty or bust. And, of course, Ohio State ended up with a national championship. I said, for the first time, the Nittany Lions have been picked as the favorite in the 15th annual Cleveland.com preseason Big Ten poll. 25 voters, 11 of them picked Penn State to win the conference. 10 of them picked Ohio State to win the conference. Oregon got 2 votes, and then the rest are scattered from there. Is that surprising to you that as long as Penn State has been in the conference and Cleveland.com has been doing this poll, that this is the first time that they've ever been voted as preseason conference champions?
I don't think it's surprising that this is the first time, because they're always kind of, to me, they're always kind of in that no man's land where it's like slightly better than middle of the pack.
Yeah,
like,
they're good.
Yeah, they're such an interesting program, and really just an interesting university to me, in that there's so much national recognition. It's such a large, raucous stadium.
It's terrific.
Venue.
It's fantastic.
Awesome. It is awesome. But the team just can't seem to get over that hump, or they can't seem to recruit that true upper echelon of talent that has managed to compete in the conference or even nationally year over year. Look at what Penn State did last season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had a nice run in the college football playoff. With that said, I think some people would argue their path was pretty darn easy in the college football playoff.
Had a chance to beat Notre Dame straight up, and then Drew Aller threw a pick with, 40 seconds left? Notre Dame marches down, kicks a field goal.
And I know that wasn't your initial question, but that's kind of why I'm like, why are all these people picking Penn State this year? They are the hot name. They are the sexy name. I know Nate's blood is boiling behind the glass.
What do you mean?
There.
Nate loves Penn State. Nate's on the preseason hype train for
Drew
Penn
Aller,
State.
best QB in the country.
This guy and I have talked about Penn State so freaking much for the last 2 weeks. However many times I've been here at the Fan, Nate and I have just talked our ears off about James Franklin and Penn State, and he has convinced me. What are we doing with this whole Drew Aller thing? Like, did the guy just have the greatest summer of all time?
Yes.
And he's going to be dynamite to start this season?
5,050 touchdowns loading. Trevor Pena, the transfer from Syracuse, is really going to get them over the hump.
I will believe it when I see it for Penn State. I still think the Big Ten runs through Columbus. I think maybe even Oregon gets a little disrespect there with the Penn State selection.
Yeah, reigning Big Ten champs.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So, like I said, I'll believe it when I see it. I think they're going to be good, but there's a lot still up in the air for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been the Penn State story, has it not? Like, and I know that James Franklin has the dragon to slay in Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like, that is obviously a thing for him, and they get to come here this year in the final week or the first weekend of November, which I think we're all very much looking forward to. When you just look at an Ohio State schedule, you say, boy, Texas here, Penn State here, Michigan on the road. Like, those are the 3 games you kind of look at. And then if you want to get really fun and dive into the schedule, like at Illinois, that's going to be a fun one too, with Brett Bielema and all the hype that they have coming into the season. But they've been really good, Dylan. They just, for whatever reason, they can't climb up the wall. They can't do it. They gave a nice fight to Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. Credit to them. They looked like they were going to get blown out by 70 points. They scratched and clawed their way back, made it respectable, had a nice run through the college football playoff. But again, you had the opportunity. The light was on you. The light was on Drew Aller. It was on James Franklin. It was on Penn State. This was your chance to get to a national championship game. And you made one bad decision, and Notre Dame ripped that away from you, and then they're playing for a title instead of them.
And I think that is the thing for me. It's like year over year, they have the opportunity. Yeah. They played Ohio State at their place last year. They couldn't get it done.
Pick 6, second, third play of the game.
You know, you think back to, remember the Dwayne Haskins comeback game in the whiteout. Like, that was my first ever time at Penn State. It was obviously
awesome
electric.
Is the whiteout too.
So cool.
It's great.
Penn State should have won that football game. They couldn't get it done. The JT Barrett comeback in the shoe. Penn State should have won that football game. They couldn't get it done. It's just this.
The JTT game where he single-handedly won the game.
Exactly. It's like all of this different stuff. They just can't get over the hump repeatedly. In the case of last season, it wasn't even against Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? It's like they have this opportunity to take that next step as a program. Maybe that one win gets you that extra recruit that gets you over that hump year after year. But for whatever reason, they just haven't done it yet. Maybe this is the year, but for that reason, I can't put I was going to say I can't put any faith in Penn State, but I can put a little. I can't put my faith right now in Penn State to win the conference.
Well, I think if we're talking about more grander schemes too and what they expect, a natty or bust kind of a season for them, it's never been harder to win a national championship.
No.
Like, if you don't win the conference and you don't get the auto bye, then all of a sudden you're looking at 4 games. Now, they played in 3 last year. They couldn't get to that final game, but you're talking about having to rattle off 4 wins against the stiffest competition in college football. And I'm with you. Until I see it actually happen, I can't believe it. But I do think it speaks a lot to the volume of Ryan Day and his staff and the team that we know you're losing 8 starters on defense. You're replacing a cadre of weapons on offense, and you're starting a new quarterback for the first time throughout a season. And still, with all of those questions, Ohio State came in second in this poll.
Well, and that is the thing, right? That, like, Ohio State, it's not the first time they're ever reloading, right? But do you remember them dipping really in reload years in the last 10 or so seasons?
Not really.
Like,
No.
they always find a way to stay relevant and be there. So that's why I have faith in Ohio State. Yeah. It's like it's not the first time this has happened. And like, even you think of like Kyle McCord, those years.
Kyle McCord, it was a good year.
Right. Like that, it's not Ohio State didn't win the national championship, but they're still in the mix, right? Like, and that's the thing for Penn State. It's just they are not that, right? Like Ohio State has that track record where I'm like, okay, they can fall back on that. Oregon is even in that conversation for me where their track record's like, okay, like I think they're going to be good this season. Penn State, to me, it's like they are still in college football playoff or bust mode. Even though the playoff has expanded, I still think they're in that mix of teams where it's like college football playoff or bust because the Big Ten is so hard. Like you could stumble into a couple of losses here and be like, oh crap, we're
done.
Yeah, like we're in
Toast.
trouble right now. So for me, they're still in that mode, and until they continue to make the college football playoff year over year, I don't think they're truly in that contender spot.
Thank you for this very much, James Franklin, however many years ago this was.
We're done being great.
You're just done being great. That was an all-time press conference out of him. He also included this.
You guys thought I was a psychopath in the past? You have no idea.
Yeah, that one of those losses in the Big Ten schedule is really going to send him into a tizzy. Looks like Tony Petitti is trying to help out Michigan as much as he possibly can. We'll get into that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland.
I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut, to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Light winds, partly sunny skies, and a pleasant finish on this Monday. Temperatures right around 80 degrees. Overnight will fall back down to around 60. A clear and cool start to your Tuesday and a perfect finish. Plenty of sunshine, light winds, and low humidity highs in the mid-80s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Are we drinking the scarlet and gray Kool-Aid? You bet we are. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
You know you're deep in the weeds in Buckeye history when you're chatting during the break and find out that Dylan and his father went to Iowa. And was it your first college football game you ever went to?
No, not my first college football game. So I was very fortunate. I'm from Southern California, so I got to see like the heyday of USC. Those were probably the first college football games for me. But my first Ohio State game was at Kinnick Stadium in 2005, I believe is the year. In Iowa, I had my face painted black and gold because I was an Iowa fan at that point, and Iowa just pumped Ohio State.
33-7.
Yeah.
And
my guy Drew Tate went crazy.
You had mentioned that. You're like, Drew Tate, college football hero of mine. Drew Tate in that game, 26 of 39, 331 yards, 3 touchdowns, and had 24 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Just killed Ohio State.
I wish I could remember like the emotions that I felt in the crowd because I was probably so fired up. Like I do remember Iowa when they kick the ball off, they jingle the keys and everything, and I thought that was cool. There was a lady in the stands just going crazy around us. I remember that one.
That's why college football is the best.
Oh, we took a train to the game. Like we got dropped off in a field and like walked to Kinnick Stadium. It was so sick. Yeah.
Do they still do that train over there?
I haven't been to a game in a while, but I would think they still do the train. Like I just remember we stayed at like a really just bad hotel, and I don't know how we got out to this field, but like we just showed up and there's like a steam engine in the field and everybody's tailgating and you walk. It was so sweet. I guess this is where all this started for me.
That's remarkable. Yeah, I remember. I don't know if it was 2006 or 2005, whatever it was. I mean, it was Troy Smith and like Ted Ginn and all those guys. And I remember my stepdad for the weekend. He was like, "Why don't we just?" He's a big Notre Dame guy. He's like, why don't we go to the Buckeye game at Illinois? We'll go to the Ohio State game. We'll go to Illinois, and then we'll go to a Bears game the next day. So we did the daily double, and we were staying at like some really crappy Marriott, like outside of Champaign. And when we pulled into the parking lot, 5.5, 6 hours away, however long the Champaign room is from here, I remember we pulled into the parking lot, and I was so excited to get there because we had the game tomorrow. It was like a Friday. You know, I'm running around. I'm 10 years old, however old I was at the time, 10, 11, 12, diehard Buckeye fan. And we pull into the parking lot, and the buses were all decked out in scarlet and gray and had like the helmet decals. And I'm like, oh, maybe the band is staying here. Because in my mind, I'm like, the team isn't staying at this crappy hotel in Champaign. And my stepdad just like grabbed me and he was like, I don't think that's the band's buses. So like we walk in, we sit in the lobby, and the first person that I see was Beanie Wells. First person, I'm like, wow, he is much larger in person than what he looks on TV. And then like Ted Ginn and Troy Smith and Tress all come walking by. I started to like shake, and he's like, why don't you go up and ask him for autographs? I'm like, nope, too scared. I was like, I'm too scared. I can't do it. I was like, again, like 10 years old, 11, 12. I'm like, I'm so nervous just to be around these guys right now that I can't even look them in the eye. But it was probably one of the coolest experiences of my life.
All that stuff is awesome. I also did do a search while you were talking there. The Hawkeye Express train service, which used to transport fans to Iowa football games at Kinnick Stadium. It ran from Coralville, Iowa to Kinnick Stadium on game days. Ceased operations coming out of COVID.
Oh, man.
So I'm very sad about that.
COVID killed the train ride.
COVID killed the Hawkeye Express.
Is that the last train you've ever been on?
Oh, no, I'm a huge train guy.
I love trains, too. I wish we had more.
Me too. Like a train from here to Chicago would be awesome.
It would be fantastic. For my grandma's like 85th or 90th birthday a couple of years ago, we took a train from Springfield to Lima. And it was just a day trip.
Just something about
just
it,
seeing
man.
the countryside.
What'd you do in there? Like, did you have drinks or anything?
Yeah, they had a bar.
Sweet.
They had a bar. I had a couple of soda pops. My grandma had her Mike's Hard Lemonade, which she calls Mikey's.
I like that.
Yeah, we were having a great time. It was like the whole family. It was 95 degrees out. Everyone was sweating.
How long's the ride?
It was longer than it should have been because we got stopped by some other train that was more important than we did. So we literally stopped for like an hour and a half with no news of when we were ever going to return to our cars.
Kind of a sweet way to spend like I don't know. Well, when we had no sports this past week, that would have been cool. But like maybe a day during the winter where nothing's going on, like just take the train and have a couple drinks. That sounds awesome.
See the beautiful Ohio countryside. Yeah. So I was reading this today as we got our guy Dylan in with us tonight. Dan Wetzel, ESPN. Here's what he wrote. Headline: Petitti letter calls for no new penalties in Michigan sign stealing scandal. Now that it's been very quiet, right? Like when did we have the first meetings? In this first or second week of June, right? Had the meetings between the NCAA. They knew that they were going to like start the hearing on the whole Michigan process. Dan Wetzel writes, give Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti credit for this. He will advocate for what he believes is best for one of the league's teams. That's true, even if that same program previously unleashed an avalanche of headline-grabbing public accusations and animosity on him. In this case, it's Michigan's football, which at the height of 2023, its advanced scouting/sign stealing scandal hit Petitti with a blistering legal filing, claims of personal bias, and choruses of boos and negative social media posts from fans. I feel like it was negative social media posts from both sides of the fans. Like, what? You're only suspending Harbaugh for this amount of games? And then on the other side, if you're a Buckeye fan or Michigan State fan, it's like, come on, you got to suspend him more. Was that Penn State they were getting ready to play, and he was like at the team hotel waiting for like a court injunction, which was just crazy. He said, regardless, Petitti has sent a letter to the NCAA Committee on Infractions arguing that Michigan deserved no further punishment in a case focusing on the actions of a former staffer in Connor Stallions. The letter was read at an early June Infractions Committee hearing in Indy, multiple sources told ESPN, and the NCAA has again charged Michigan with 11 rules violations, 6 of them level 1, which is classified as the most serious. The committee has yet to hand down a ruling, but one is expected before the 25 season. It does not have to follow or even consider Petitti's opinion. So the Big Ten confirmed to ESPN that Petitti sent the letter and said he would have attended in person, but was recovering at the time from his hip replacement surgery. The NCAA and Michigan are prohibited from commenting on a pending case. Unless you're Connor Stallions, then you can do so on Twitter, like we found out last week. Petitti declined to comment through a league spokesperson. Petitti argued that the Big Ten itself had already sufficiently punished the Michigan program when it suspended Jim Harbaugh for the final 3 games of the regular season in 23 at Penn State, at Maryland, and of course the home game against Ohio State. There are 2 ways to read this. I think you can tell me if I'm wrong, Dylan. One is that you are the commissioner of one of the most powerful conferences in college football, college athletics. One of them is you have to protect what's yours in value in Michigan. And as much as this is the Buckeye Show and we're doing a show here in Columbus, Ohio, that's the job. If any other school would be under the same amount of pressure and fire, that you would think that Tony Petitti would do the same exact thing, even though he was the one handing down the pressure. On the other hand, you can look at this and say, what are you doing, man? That was some serious stuff that you got involved with. Why are you taking your letter to the NCAA to try to get to them not to punish the team that obviously cheated? There are two ways to look at that. Again, Tony Petitti, the commissioner, looking out for Michigan, saying, I'm going to play nice here and say, fellas over at the NCAA, they've already served their punishment, which doesn't really make any sense to me, Dylan, because I don't feel like there was really any punishment that was doled out.
No, I just feel like this is one of those almost time heals all situations where it's been long enough now that he's like, let's not go back there. And, we've got the Sharon Moore suspension this year, which that's another weird one to me.
In-house suspension,
like
right?
that's an in-house thing where they just got to pick the games that he was going to miss.
He's going back to Oklahoma, his alma mater, though.
Yeah.
Don't worry, he'll be there for that one.
Yeah, don't worry about that. To me, that's all it is. It's like, all right, I'm done with this. Like, I'm not going to bring this back up.
Right
Simple
on the
as
eve of
that.
Big Ten Media Days.
Simple as that. Like, we're going to kill this. Obviously, I think there are going to be a lot of questions about it throughout Big Ten Media Days, and I am very, very curious to hear what Sharon Moore gets asked and some of the things that he has to say. I think he speaks on the final day of Big Ten Media Days.
Traditionally, I think Michigan goes last every Media Days.
I not even like as an Ohio State grad or fan or whatever you want to call me, I just feel like aside from that bias, like what are we doing here with this whole Michigan thing? Like I don't think there was ever sufficient punishment for Jim Harbaugh or for the university. This whole thing, it's a major scandal. Like they straight up cheated.
All we talked about for a year.
Yeah, and it wasn't just here in Columbus. Everybody talked about that. And nothing really ever happened.
He was suspended for 3 games and he left for the NFL.
Yeah, there was no concrete deal. And, I'm reading some of the quotes from this story. Something at the end of the story, this is not a sanction of Coach Harbaugh. It's a sanction against the university. Well, what's happened to the university?
Nothing.
Right? Like that's what are we talking about
Unless
here?
I missed something. I don't know of anything that's happened.
And so who's responsible here? Obviously, Connor Stallions is the guy that was doing all of this stuff, supposedly on behalf of Jim Harbaugh. If Jim Harbaugh is no longer at the university or going to be held responsible for this, which he saw I would say a light punishment for this, right? Then the university has to be liable, right? And there's no accountability there. So I would just say it's a frustrating thing. Precedent-wise, it's like, okay, can anybody just go do anything now?
Yes.
And it's just going to kind of get swept under the rug? Like, now if I'm another one of these Big Ten coaches or ADs, it's like, obviously you want to keep everything above board, but hey, let's see what we can get away with, right?
Let's just really push the envelope here.
Yeah, let's see what we can get away with. Let's try and quiet it down for a couple of years, and then finally Tony Petitti's going to be like, all right, it's fine. We won't talk about this anymore.
I think the best part of this entire thing is we still don't know and have confirmation who was on Central Michigan's sideline that Friday night game in which they were playing Michigan State or Minnesota or whoever they were playing with. I'm pretty sure you got records of who was on the sideline. Like you can go to an Ohio State staffer who was involved in the football program, like, hey, who did you print out credentials for? And they have that for probably the last 50 years of history.
You can do that very simply. If you really wanted to get into the weeds, we have all sorts of camera footage, pictures, security inside of a stadium, inside of a facility, in the concourse, wherever this guy walked in. You can probably get a picture of him and figure out who it was.
Austin Ward, he's out in the desert for Media Days. We're going to chat with him coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Did you know dropping your first 25 pounds with a Wicked 180 adds 6 to 8 yards to every shot? Even better scores every 5 pounds after that. Look it up. Freedom from excess fat is measurable. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grill Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best damn radio show in the land. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Got my man Dylan Tyrer in with us tonight. Right now we're heading out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline, checking in with our guy of Letterman Row and The Fan and Austin and Berm and all kinds of different stuff. He is Austin Ward, A Ward Sports. How's the desert treating you so far? Did those slot machines get you? Like I'm sure they're going to get Murph in a couple hours.
No, Beamer. I've been here more times than Murph's been alive. Days than he's been alive. I'm not going to play the slots when you get off the plane. That is a sucker move. I know where all the best ones are, and I'm not even going to share it with people on the radio. That's my own private information. But it is very hot here. I will tell you that.
Well, that's good to know. The desert is typically hot, especially when it's 3:30 in the afternoon. Austin, we were just doing the
extremes Big Ten football. Just being here in the desert, 110 degrees. We saw the B1G letters. Berm and I went up to go already record tomorrow morning's beat. Surprisingly, not fully ready for the media yet here on a Monday evening on the East Coast. It's almost like it doesn't belong out here.
All right, so I know that you're a press box snob, Austin. What is missing so far from media days? Because we've got, a little under 24 hours before it's showtime out there?
Everything.
That's not good.
There were 2 signs that were up. I was talking with some of the MGM Resorts communications people because we'd received a heads up. It's like, hey, you probably can't shoot stuff inside of a casino, so check with them about where you can film content before Tuesday or during the event when you're not in the convention center. And so I did reach out to them, had lovely conversations with the fine folks at MGM. Hopefully they'll, provide me with some free gambling money or chips for the plugs that I'm giving them right now. But they're like, well, actually the convention center is ready. We think that the Big Ten has been setting up since Sunday, so you should be fine to go in there. And then we walked up. I said, hello, Big Ten lady with all the credentials. We'd like to record our show. Oh, no, you have to get out of here until tomorrow at 8 a.m. The MGM said I could be here. They own the building. Let me do what I want. So maybe I didn't actually say it like that. I'm not that much of a snob in real life. I just complain on the radio sometimes. But they are not quite ready for the event yet, and they need to be because at 11 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, Tony Petitti's got some answers that he needs to provide.
It's Vegas, baby. They're going to be up all night getting set up. Come on.
You're right, Dylan. I should give them more credit for that. They know what they're doing. The Big Ten doesn't.
All right, Austin, in a very kind of macro scale here in general, what are some of the things that you are trying to glean from Big Ten Media Days, maybe as it relates to Ohio State, but just the conference as a whole?
Yeah, see, it's always my preference to come out here and it's time to talk football. Training camp is a week and a half away from Ohio State. But every year, without fail, there's some sort of nuclear bomb that goes off in the Big Ten. And it derails the whole thing. And I'm going to do my best to stay on track and focused. But the fact that Connor Stallion's investigation, the Committee on Infractions, is coming to a head, and however this Tony Petitti letter was leaked, and however the timing came to be the day before Big Ten Media Days, I mean, I should have expected that was how this was going to work, because without fail, the day before the Big Ten starts its media days and before the commissioner goes to the podium, something is going to come out that is either embarrassing or hard to understand or difficult to justify, all the above. So I think that's going to, I don't know, consume the conversation tomorrow on a day when Michigan is not even available, not even going to be here. And you guys know what that means. Mm-hmm. That means that all those questions about Michigan and Connor Stallions and cheating are going to be redirected towards Ryan Day and Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles. And I'm sad for that. It's unfortunate. That shouldn't be how it works. They shouldn't have to keep rehashing this and relitigating it when it's Michigan and Tony Petitti's job to do that.
Is Tony Petitti speaking tomorrow, Austin? Because I was looking through just the media day kind of printout as we check in with Austin Ward live from Vegas here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. So he's going from 11 to 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. Yeah. He's going to be up on the podium. How much time?
Warren was at an hour, by the way.
Okay, so they shortened it. Maybe they knew that this was coming out. How much time will he spend filibustering, and how many questions do you think he'll eventually take?
Yeah, so Kevin Warren was it 4 years ago. He had an hour carved out. He filibustered for 45 minutes and then took about 5 questions. And I wrote a blistering column about him coming out of that. And then his PR person came over as soon as it posted. And
someone's hot on the craps tables right now.
It looks like, what do we got over here? It's the blackjack table. It's going live.
Nice.
And Kevin Warren's PR person came over and said she was going to punch me in the throat.
Oh, that's a good PR move.
But that was an hour-long conversation and at least some questions. And 30 minutes for a guy who's done one podcast with Joel Klatt in the last, 8 months, is pretty ridiculous. And so I hope that means he's going to leave more time to actually go talk to, Berm and I have got set up on Radio Row where we're going to talk to Ryan Day and the Buckeyes and maybe Ross Bjork and Rich Clark and, a bunch of other people are wanting to swing by. Hopefully Tony Petitti is one of those people, but if not, which I suspect probably won't happen, that 30-minute session is just simply not going to be enough. And I think there's going to be a lot more unanswered questions from him, which is also wildly unfortunate because this is the most lucrative college football conference in America. This is the commissioner of that league who's also trying to push through changes to the college football playoffs and working through house settlement issues and a dozen other factors. And today is a day where on the eve of his State of the Big Ten, he's currently dealing with a black eye and a real credibility question, in my opinion.
Austin, when you read this today, and again, we were reading it right before you came on here, I kind of deciphered it in 2 ways. One is that Tony Petitti is doing his job as conference commissioner. He needs to look out for the interest of his 18 best schools. On the other hand, Dylan and I were saying that, it took over the storylines for the better part of a year, these cheating allegations, and you had mentioned with the NCAA meetings coming to a head of the infractions and the rule coming down. Do you think he'll have any answers on this tomorrow? Because, I would be shocked if that's not the first question, maybe all of the questions that he has to field.
Yeah, and it almost sounds like conspiracy theory, but the way that this is timed up, like it is going to overshadow all of that. And I don't know that we're going to get answers about the feud going on between he and Greg Sankey and Sankey's band of brothers that he's put together with the ACC and the Big 12 to turn their swords against the Big 10 and the 4-4, 2-2, 1-1-1 and automatic qualifiers like that. The stuff about football and the way that it's formatted was supposed to be the real primary focus here. And I don't think that is going to be the case now.
I am tremendously sad about that. Like I really wanted to hear what Petitti had to say about the college football playoff format and potential changes. And I think you're right in that'll likely be overshadowed with 30 minutes of time to talk tomorrow.
Right.
Focusing on some of these teams that are going to talk tomorrow, you do have some bangers lined up right in a row. You got Brett Bielema in Illinois, who are supposed to have a good season. Greg Schiano right after that. You've got Kurt Cignetti going tomorrow, coming off a big year, and, of course, Ryan Day. So are there any people outside of Ohio State that you're looking forward to hearing from, and if so, why?
Well, I absolutely love the fact that Brett Bielema is right after Tony Petitti. If you think about some of the coaches who have said Michigan cheated the game, they deserve to be penalized to the fullest extent, it's Brett Bielema. So, like, him following up that show, I think, could not have worked out any better. He does have a really good team. Beamer and I talked last week on the Buckeye Show about how I think that trip to Champaign is maybe not getting enough credit for being a really pivotal test for Ohio State there as October starts to ramp up. So, I'd love to hear more about his team and his confidence. But even then, when we're talking about, because Greg Schiano has also criticized Michigan and was aware of the operation going on. So, pretty interesting lineup of coaches who are following Tony Petitti, given the news of the day.
Do you think Greg Schiano is going to filibuster at all, or do you think he's going to prepare a statement for Michigan questions?
You know what, Beamer? Here's what I think. There are coaches around the Big Ten who are legitimately upset about what happened there, and I don't think that they're going to dodge the questions. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but especially those three. I mean, Ryan Day is the least likely to talk about it, to be honest, and he's the most angry. But I think the others are more than willing to stick up for what happened there, or stick up for Ohio State, who got the shortest shrift out of this whole scandal, if we're being honest. So maybe there will be some rehearsing of what that answer is going to be like, but they're going to be – the way that these events are set up, they do press conferences for, or they're talking to people and getting interviewed for 6-7 hours. There's going to be a point where the truth comes out from them, at least their perspective.
Hey, before we get you out of here, are you doing Fremont Street tonight? Are you staying at the Mandalay Bay? Like, what are you and Berm getting into tonight?
Right now, we're walking over to the beer house at New York, New York.
I can hear the music. It sounds lovely.
Yeah, well, that's just a little street busking. This guy's sitting out in the 110-degree heat. We got a good look at the Statue of Liberty right now as we head back into the air conditioning. I'm going to stay inside the climate-controlled areas as much as possible. We've been outside for 30 seconds, and I already feel like I'm going to die.
Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for popping on. Have a great time in Vegas. Looking forward to your and Berm's coverage, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
Thanks, guys. See ya.
There he goes. Austin Ward, live from Vegas here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. A lot to unpack there with Austin, and also continued growth for the Buckeyes is imperative this season. You're going to hear from Ryan Day on that front next. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
When I started in the window business probably 40 years ago, as the industry grew, I started to realize that everything was wrong. So when I finally decided to start my own company, there were a number of reasons. One of those was I knew I could build a better window. I could take care of my customers. I could service them better. I could make sure that they got what they paid for.
Visit Rosati Windows and get 35% off all windows and doors by July 31st.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get zero down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining healthcare.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts. And for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
The Donato's $5 Pizza Pals menu is adding some pals. Donato's savory and delicious family recipe meatballs are now on the Pizza Pals menus, along with new Oreo twists. Sweet, delicious pull-apart twists with real Oreo cookie pieces drizzled with vanilla icing. You can order unlimited $5 Pizza Pals with any large pizza. So order today and load up on all the Pizza Pals you want. Donato's, gotta love more.
The Fan is the official station of summertime. Sipping on a lemonade, the smell of fresh cut grass in the air, and Common Man playing fart noises on the radio.
Was that a fart?
Summer. The Fan, Ohio's summer destination.
Delaware County Veterans Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of Veteran County Veteran Service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment? Facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veterans Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veterans Services.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. My guys at Germain are celebrating their biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. Tons of vehicles on the lot for you to choose from, and they're ready to deal. It's also the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99%. I was riding in my Lexus on one of our hot summer days, and I felt the crisp breeze of cold air on my cracky. Don't you want that for yourself? Of course you do. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
If you still have a weird rash from jumping in Mirror Lake, we can be friends. This is the Buckeye Show.
We're here on the Buckeye Show, brought to you by our great friends over at Coors Light. Those mountains are blue. You know, those suckers are as cold as the Rockies. Dylan Tyrer in tonight. Just to go back to Austin's comments. To his point, again, of Tony Petitti writing a letter to the NCAA saying Michigan has already been punished enough. It will take over media days now. And I hadn't even really thought about that. I'm like, oh yeah, Tony Petitti, he's going to have to speak about that tomorrow. I'm not sure how much detail he's going to get into. But then again, to his point, with Greg Schiano going tomorrow, with Brett Bielema, who notoriously will not hold any punches when giving an answer. And then Ryan Day obviously going tomorrow as well. All these coaches are now going to be asked about this. And I don't know if the timing is just speculative or if it's just a surprise, like ESPN had this in the works. It wouldn't shock me if this was like, hey, we know this has been coming for months, and on the eve of you giving your big press conference and having to sit in front of a microphone for 30 minutes and then having to do media availability, we're going to put this out one day before you got to do this, big dog.
I do think it's such a shame if this ends up overshadowing the college football playoff conversation.
I wanted to hear him go across the bow of Sankey again.
I know, I just needed an update. You know what I mean? We had maybe a month or so ago, it was just hot. It was, we're going to do 4-4-1-1, all the different 4-4-2-1-1-1. Yeah. And then there was the other one that came up a week after that. And it's kind of gone away. I feel like that conversation hasn't been out there as much, but I was curious, Austin talked about it. Tony Petitti does not talk a whole lot. You don't hear from him a whole lot. I'm very fascinated by the Big Ten as a conference, and I want to know what they think, what the ADs think, what the coaches think.
Well, what the coaches think and what the commissioner thinks are probably two wildly different things.
Absolutely, and I want to hear all of that. I just hope that Brett Bielema is paying close attention to what Tony Petitti has to say.
I'm sure that he's
going to be locked in.
He's going to be there in that orange tie, standing right next to the stage when Tony Petitti's
I think everybody loves them some Bert, right? Everybody loves Brett Bielema, and what he has kind of started to mean for the Big Ten. Like, he's such a Big Ten guy.
He is.
So
he just didn't fit down in the SEC.
No. I just hope we get a couple truth bombs out of Bert.
I think we will. Between him and Schiano tomorrow,
the Schiano man, baby.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good time. So I was listening to this. We did a little bit of this on Friday. Karp and Schlegs had Ryan Day on a show. Now we'll be able to hear from Ryan Day tomorrow when he gives his press conference and then media availability. So I'm sure we'll hear through Ryan throughout the rest of the week here on the Buckeye Show. But I think this is a very imperative thing for these Buckeyes this year. The continued growth during the season, because I've said it, Dylan, and your experience from working in sports and covering college sports and, of course, the NHL, like, no team is ever a finished product, right? You ebb and you flow through the season, but you want to be the best that you can possibly be at the end of the season when you were peaking. And Ryan Day was kind of speaking to that, how this team is not going to look the same week 1, August 30th against Texas as they do at the end of the season.
The difference here is, this first game right out of the gate is going to be different with a young team. Have a first-time quarterback in there. So, we're going to have to come out of that game, win or lose, with a plan on, okay, here's what we did really well in August, and here's what we need to get fixed, and then grow from there and build from there. Certainly right out of the gate, we're going to be able to figure out, sometimes it takes a while until you get into those matchup games to figure out where you are. This will give us some instant, feedback on where we are. And so what we have to do is grow and get stronger and build as the season goes on, regardless, because that's what's going to matter, is what team is playing the best at the end of the season. And I think that's exciting about this team, is because we are young, but we also have a bunch coming back. Like, I'm really looking forward to playing in this first game, but I also am excited about the journey that we're going to go on, because if you get hot and you start to figure some things out as the season goes on, you get into the playoffs, as you guys saw, like, you can be dangerous. And so, we have to take that approach, that every game is very, very important, and compartmentalize the fact that, okay, this game, is a one-game season, but also taking a step back and recognizing that, like, we've got to build as the season goes on. And that a big part of that is coaching, making sure that we understand after every game, what do we need to get addressed? Is it the personnel? Do we need to make changes? Do we have the right guys in the right seats? 2, is the scheme right? Like, are we doing the best to put our guys in the best position to be successful? And then the third thing is, are we coaching it well enough? And along the way, we have to be very, very critical of that, and we've got to grow. And that's a little bit of that NFL mindset of, like, building and growing as the season goes on. So, that'll be important. And then, but to go back to your question, certainly depth, as we know, is going to be very important. So we've got to continue to work through the bottom half of our roster, because at some point we're going to need them to play.
Not to disparage what last year's team did, but I feel like it's more important this year, Dylan, with the amount of inexperience. And it's not inexperience because these guys have played here, but they haven't been tasked with playing as much as starters as we're expecting them to this year. It is so critical for this team to find their development in the middle of the season for this year if they ultimately want to reach their dreams and aspirations.
Well, the fascinating thing for me is he talked about the coaching being so important. And think about the changes, not just at the quarterback position or with the edge rushers for Ohio State or the cornerbacks for Ohio State or whatever position for Ohio State, some of the offensive line. The coordinators.
Yeah.
Like
2 new ones.
Brian Hartline, offensive coordinator. Matt Patricia, defensive coordinator. This could be a completely different Ohio State team identity-wise, right? Like, Ryan Day is still the CEO of everything. Everything is going to run through him, and I think his identity ends up being the identity of the team, right? But how they respond to adversity, or, do we know how Brian Hartline's going to call plays in X situation, or if Ryan Day is going to be
4th
in his
and
ear
2,
in
and
X
you're
situation.
on the 30-yard line and not confident in a field goal, or maybe you're on the 50 with 2 minutes left, trailing by 2 points. Like, until you're in that position, you have to go out there and do it.
And what does the defense look like in some of these situations with Matt Patricia? That is what fascinates me, especially with such a test right off the bat against Texas. With that said, a lot of changes for Texas this season, personnel-wise, too.
Totally.
So they're going to be youthful and inexperienced the same way that Ohio State is going to be youthful and inexperienced. Yeah, Brian Hartline has been here for a long time. I probably have have less curiosity about the offense than I do the defense with Matt Patricia.
Is it just because Ryan's over there on that side of the ball?
I think so. I think that has something to do with it. The fact that Brian Hartline has been there for a long time, like I don't think he's going to change too much up, if that makes any sense. But the defense is a big question mark to me, and just a place, not even as much of a question mark because Matt Patricia has a track record. It's just a point of curiosity for me. Like I'm very interested to see what that all looks like on the defensive side of the football. But with those new coordinators, I think just establishing that identity, and I'm with you, like around the halfway point of the season, I think at that stage, you really want to have that identity established. Like the Texas game is going to be the Texas game. Whatever happens, happens. Mm-hmm. I don't think Ohio State's establishing an identity in that game no matter what. Then you're going to play.
Now, if they do, and then keep it for the rest of the season, and like you go out there and blow them out of the water by 30 points, like keep that identity. That'd be nice.
That's pretty sweet. You're going to play some cupcake games after that. Mm-hmm. I think when you start off that Big Ten slate, that's really where you're going to figure out who you are and establish who you are. And that's what every team needs to do, right? Is put your foot in the ground and grow from there. Because if you're not going to take that next step or next steps from there, you're going to be in trouble. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about with Penn State, where who knows kind of what their identity is and has been. But that's the fascinating thing for me this year is the changes at the coordinator spots, how they are going to react or behave in adverse situations, how the team, the youthful team, is going to react to that. Because if they're able to turn it up and make all those things into a positive and grow early on in the season, this could be a very intriguing and fun Ohio State team.
Absolutely could. And you're 1,000% right about the different coordinators and what that's going to look like, even going down to which quarterback is going to be leading the offense, because I would think that it's going to be a different looking offense if Lincoln Kienholz is starting, and a different offense compared to if Julian Sayin is starting, both with very different skill sets. One team is trying their hardest to join the Power Four, like multi-hundreds of millions of dollars hard. We'll do that in the Pulse coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
T-Bone and Tyvis are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Now open. Zumbizi Bay's brand new conservation tower. 3 slides, 1 tower, and endless thrills. Only at
Zumbizi Bay.
Plan your visit at zumbizibay.com.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Our double hung is as good as it gets. There's something really simple. It's called an interlock. We interlock our windows. The interlock is the absolute best way to alleviate air infiltration. With the interlock, it's harder to break into. When you interlock the sashes, it makes a better window. It's just a darn good window, and we're very proud of it.
Visit Rizzotti Windows and get 35% off all windows and doors by July 31st.
We've got a story about a little bean doing big things. Soybeans are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we use every day. And Ohio's farmers are growing some of the world's best soybeans. By using and eating soy-based products, you make a positive impact locally and globally. Say hey to the largest ag export in the U.S. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access.
To cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Nate Cooterball. The Reds are in Washington tonight trying to shake off the loss of the Mets as they start a 3-game series with the Nationals. Brady Singer takes the mound for the Reds against Jake Irvin. First pitch is at 6:45. Catch the action immediately following the Buckeye Show. The Guardians look to make it back-to-back wins as they start a 4-game series at home with the Orioles. Tomoyuki Sagano of the Orioles squaring off against Tanner Bybee. First pitch is at 6:40. In the NBA, Chris Paul is inked to deal with the Clippers to return to Los Angeles for his 21st season in the league. The 12-time All-Star spent last year in San Antonio, but spent 6 years in Los Angeles previously. This is expected to be his final season. And in the NFL, the Tennessee Titans have announced quarterback Will Levis will miss the entire 2025-2026 season due to surgery on his right shoulder. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hour 2 for us here on this Monday evening. Dylan Tyrer in with us. Coming up here, 7:17 in our next segment. The Murph Dog, Patrick Murphy of Bucknuts. He's going to join the program. He's going to be on his way out to Vegas. Get his thoughts on Tony Petitti's derailment, obviously, tomorrow with the Michigan story coming out today. So excited to get to talk to Murph. Where in the world is he? We'll find out coming up at 7:17. By the way, coming up at 8 o'clock, Reds at the Nats. Good second half start, Nate. I know they kind of got jobbed yesterday against the Mets, but we're looking all right.
Taking 2 out of 3 against the team you're chasing is always a good thing.
Yes, it is. By the way, bottom of the first, they're down 1-0. So hopefully,
they're a second inning team.
Hopefully, by the time we get to them at 8 o'clock, things will have turned around for the Reds. Do you have a baseball team, Dylan?
Yeah.
I know you're a Bears fan.
Yeah, I'm a White Sox. I'm like that's
tough.
That's where I'm at. I tell people I was a White Sox fan. I'm not a Jerry Reinsdorf guy. And
I don't know. Name me one White Sox fan that is a Jerry Reinsdorf
Yeah, the team.
guy.
Like the thing for me is like I was such a baseball guy. Like coming up, baseball was my thing. I loved baseball, so it's legitimately upsetting like how out of love the White Sox have made me fall with baseball. I'd love to come back at some point.
I'm telling you, there's nothing worse than being a sports fan when you get to the apathy stage.
I went to a White Sox game last year.
Oh, wow.
I paid $40 to sit behind the plate. I counted every single person in the outfield.
What month did you go?
It was in September.
Oh, wow. So that's like prime time,
They
too.
were chasing, you know.
Yeah.
They were in the chase last year.
They were chasing history last year.
Yeah, they were. Nate was actually part of that.
Yep.
It is. I've been to one White Sox game before. I've never been to Wrigley, but I have been to a Sox game. It's a neat little. It's a good little stadium.
Good food, good drinks, good tailgating
Great
outside.
whiskey bar they had there.
Yeah.
Do they?
Just they're playing some better baseball right now. I'll give them
the
that.
Buckeyes this weekend, right?
Yeah, they're playing some better baseball. They have fun young prospects, but outside of that, we're going to stop talking about the White Sox.
They're only 25 games back. It's okay. At this point last year, they were 45 back, right?
Yeah.
They're fine. Nate, what do you got for us tonight, buddy?
All right. Our friends over at Yahoo Sports are reporting that Memphis is trying to get out of the American Conference, I guess they are calling themselves now. The artist formerly known as the American Athletic Conference.
Yeah, the AAC.
They're trying to get into the Big 12 and have supposedly put together a package worth up to $200 million to get into the Big 12, which begs the question, because it sounds like the Big 12 is saying no. Why not just go to the Pac-12?
Well, I think one, that's a good question. Two, no.
When I think Memphis, I think Pacific 12.
Well,
baby.
when I think of ACC and Cal, I think of ACC. We've kind of lost our minds. The craziest thing, so I was reading this from Ross Dellinger. And again, I like Ross's work. Anything he puts out, I'm reading, even with legal jargon where my eyes go cross and I can't understand it and I have to read it like 7 times over again. This is that the $200 million isn't even the most wild part of this story. So the proposal from Memphis, one of the most aggressive membership propositions in a college athletics history, features hundreds of millions of dollars in sponsorship commitments to the Big 12. So again, like SMU, right? when they join the ACC, they're like, just keep your money. We just want to join, and it's all good. Just keep your money. We'll pay the exit fee. It'll be fine. This is much different because Memphis is now going to pay the Big 12 $200 million, as well as the school and their revenue distribution for the league for at least 5 years. So it's $200 million plus rev distribution from Memphis Athletic Department or university, whatever, that is then going to the league and paying out the rest of its members. Multiple sources spoke to Yahoo under condition of anonymity about the proposal, which is the latest and most serious chapter in the schools in their effort to try to move out of the American. Big 12 officials are in the midst of exploring the proposal, but league-wide support is not there. Multiple conference officials told Yahoo Sports any expansion moves need the support of a supermajority of the league's presidents and chancellors. So you need 12 out of the 16 to finalize it. The wildest part in this story is that Memphis offered up $200 million or more, reportedly. Offered up rev share for every other team that they're competing against, technically, in the Big 12. And also offered the Big 12 to kick them out of the league in 2031 when their new TV contract is up if they weren't bringing in enough dollars or interest. That is crazy. You're offering up that amount of money and just saying to the league, and who knows what the hell is college football is going to look like in 2030. You're offering them up all 20% of $1 billion rev share and the ability for them to kick you out after or before they even sign a new TV contract. They must really want to get out of the American.
And this is, I mean, the rumors are already that the Big 12 has said no to all this, right?
Yeah.
Is this one of these situations when...
Give me more.
Somebody is trying so hard to be your friend, and you're like, man, this is desperate. I don't think so. Or all the other schools and teams just like, this is too hard. This is too much. Because I don't know how you turn this down.
Especially nowadays, like in college athletics, right? I mean, we're always talking about being able to find pennies under the couch cushion and like teams generating revenue streams. And, a couple of weeks ago, LSU was fighting the NCAA over putting sponsorship jerseys on or patches on their jerseys. This seems like a pretty surefire way for your teams to find an additional revenue stream. And, it's Memphis. It's not like they are nobody. You know, they've had a couple of good college football seasons in there. The college basketball program's in a little bit of hot water right now, but they got things going on for them. It's the Memphis Tigers. Derrick Rose played there. Like, it's not the worst school to come and ask to join your conference. I don't know what's going on.
They've been a top 25 team the last, maybe in and out for the last 10 or so years.
Ugly field, but we'll take you.
Yeah. Maybe they just didn't have PayPal.
Maybe they didn't. Was that the Big 12? Is Brett Yormark? We are glad to accept our corporate sponsor, PayPal, for distributing all these NIL deals. Imagine that. Imagine $200 million just coming through on PayPal.
That'd be pretty sweet. I might log into PayPal just to check.
just to see what happens.
Check.
But that's I would think it would be as no risk as possible, right, for the Big 12? Because in 5 years' time, if you end up being turds, like we can just kick you out for free. I don't know what the Big 12 is thinking. Maybe they're thinking you need to up that ante to $300 million or whatever. But I guess the Big 12 just does not want Memphis. They said, no, you were not coming into our conference. We'll take Cincinnati a couple of years ago, but Memphis is where we draw the line. What else you got for us tonight, Nate?
All right, The Athletic went about ranking the top 25 most valuable college football programs, basically saying if a private equity firm wanted to buy a college football team,
just wait.
This is how much it would cost. The top 5, Michigan for $1.83 billion. Notre Dame at $1.85. The Buckeyes at number 3 with 1.9. Georgia at 1.92. And Texas at the top, $2.38 billion.
I feel like this is coming, Dylan. There have been talks about private equity firms. Was it the NFL who just cleared this last year, right?
Yes.
Private equity firms can come in and buy a certain percentage of the teams. It's not far behind in college athletics. I did think it was a interesting little brain workshop that the Athletic put together, and I was reading this a little bit earlier today. Texas at $2.38 billion. If and only if college football teams were up for sale. And this isn't the whole athletic department. This is just the football teams on this. If you're looking for a way to, I feel like, make some money and you have a couple of extra billion lying around, it wouldn't be the worst idea to invest in a college team. I mean, we're towing the line closer than we ever have between amateurism and professional, and we're leaning more professional than we ever have before. I don't think this is that far away. I really don't. Like 15, 20 years, 30 years down the line here, people coming up and saying, hey, we're going to buy a portion of your team. Because right now it's mass under NIL donors and all this, but you actually said 10% of Ohio State is up for sale for what's 10% of $1.9 billion? $190 million. You can get math. 10. Thank you. My wife's a math teacher. I'm not a math guy, but I feel like that was pretty good mental math. If you had $190 million lying around, 10% of the Buckeyes, that'd be pretty cool.
I could never swing it, but that would be sweet.
Mean, come on.
Also, that much money for 10%, I'd be like, man, I wish I could get a little more. I'm a little bit surprised by two teams on this list. I thought LSU would be way higher. They're 10th at $1.23 billion. I guess their football revenue isn't that great comparatively. And USC,
you think of LSU as like a monster, right?
Yeah, LSU to me is like right at the top, right in this upper echelon. USC $1.4 billion at number 8 on this list. I think that's just a sleeping giant. People talk about USC that way, and it's been like that for a while.
Where are you at on Lincoln Riley this year?
Out on Lincoln Riley.
How do you feel about that $80 million buyout?
I don't think they're gonna. I mean, if you're not bringing in money, they're only valued at $1.4 billion, so they can't be buying out $80 million. You know what I'm saying?
No, they can't.
But USC, I just feel like is such a sleeping giant in the LA market. Fans out there are a little bit apathetic, but if USC got back to where they were. Think about social media now. Like when USC was at the height of its power, like the mediascape is not what it is right now. Yeah. It would be crazy, and I feel like they'd be right up there with Texas. So that's one for me that I'd be very curious over the course of the next 10, 20, 30 years if they can get back. I think they're going to be right up there.
Was I the only one kind of surprised to see Georgia above Ohio State on this?
Yeah, I was also going to mention that. Again, Ohio State athletics 36 varsity sports strong. Georgia, typical SEC team, 16-20. And I know this is just the football programs, but it is pretty wild, Nate, because all the time we talk about Texas and Ohio State being number 1 and number 2 with general value among the college landscapes. And I know Georgia's a big dog, right? You got a couple of national championships in the last few years. You got Kirby down there. Your recruiting's at an all-time high. Their NIL doing just fine. But it was pretty wild to see Ohio State 3 on this list and not number 2, to your point. It wasn't much. It was
barely.
This was just an exercise too. Like they were guesstimating, but yeah, it was pretty weird to see Georgia above Ohio State. Patrick Murphy of Bucknuts. He's going to join us somewhere at an airport in the United States of America coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
We could tell you what makes Giant Eagle special, but we think our customers say it best.
I love the fresh produce. I love the fresh meat.
I'm pretty sure the fish guy knows me by now. We're buds.
I love to grill. That alone keeps me coming back.
The people that work here are so nice and so helpful.
Everybody loves the cakes from Giant Eagle.
On every shelf, in every department, we're always going for better because being your Giant Eagle matters.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
Your bathroom's got to go, the vanity's decayed, and toilet's really old. The bathtub's giving way. If that's our us a ring, call morning, noon, or night. You do not have to wait to get your bathroom right.
Call Baths R Us for your free estimate and enter to win our Christmas in July $12,500 bathroom remodel with an additional savings of up to $3,000 plus low to no monthly payments. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium into the press box and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Morning Juice is live on YouTube. Weekday mornings starting at 6. Or on demand whenever you want it. Yeah, whenever. Bobby Carpenter's at your beck and call. And Tito's there too, you know, to clean the toilets. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Some blue skies, light winds, and a nice finish on this Monday. Temperatures right around 80 degrees, down to around 60 for Tuesday morning. A pretty cool start for the second half of July. No complaints, though, in the afternoon, back in the mid-80s with plenty of sunshine and low humidity. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Ryan Day's favorite radio show. Probably. Maybe. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out tonight with Dylan Tyrer. Hopefully everybody's having a good start to the week on a Monday. Right now we're heading out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fangus Hotline, checking in with our guy of Bucknuts. He is Patrick Murphy. Pat, I heard you are somewhere that Pam Beasley is banned from right now. Is that correct?
That's a really tight reference.
Thank you.
Yes, the Chili's at the airport here in Columbus, waiting for our flight, which has been delayed 7 minutes. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, got some chips and salsa, some guac. It's been a good start to the trip so far.
Are you drinking an airport beer? You know that I have an undying love and affection for an airport beer. It's the best beer that anyone can have.
Yeah, I didn't think I needed to say that.
Okay.
I figured you just assumed. But yes, I do have an airport beer, and I will post it on social media here shortly.
Good. So you guys are going out to Vegas. Who's all with you right now? I feel like a good portion of the Ohio State beat is probably on this flight.
Yeah, I'm sitting next to Kevin Noon from Buckeye Huddle. We saw Doug Maurice from the Kings of the North, I believe is what they're still going with. Mm-hmm. I know some of the other guys are already at the gate. The 11 Warriors guys will be on our flight. I haven't seen them yet, though. But yeah, it's going to be quite the Ohio State beat contingent.
Pat, we were talking with Austin Ward a little while ago about the new Tony Petitti news and kind of nixing any potential punishment for the University of Michigan. How do you feel about that news coming out the day before he is going to speak at Big Ten Media Days, and what that might do to overshadowing some other conversation there?
Well, I think he's definitely going to get asked about it when he takes to the podium tomorrow, and that will probably, as you said, just dominate the 15, 20 minutes, however long he's up in front of us. So, look, I get it. You are, trying to defend a team in your conference. I would hope he would do this for any of the teams that, were potentially in trouble. But, yeah, it is weird. I mean, I think we all know that there is something coming down, and trying to minimize it, I guess, is good for the Big Ten from his perspective. but I don't know how much that's going to work. And why is it right now
Mm-hmm.
when instead of early on in this whole process? I get that media days are about to happen, but also just, you certainly could have done this as everything was getting going a few weeks ago or whatnot, right? And he chose to wait until after most of the hearing, or for lack of a better term, has already taken place. So interesting, I think, for sure.
Yeah, Pat. So when we were talking to Austin, I think Austin made a really good point. Like, Greg Schiano was obviously very upset when all this was going on, the sign stealing stuff. Brett Bielema's never one to hold punches. He was also upset. The messaging difference to come from Tony Petitti when asked about this compared to those two guys who were on the podium, I think tomorrow you could see some fireworks and different lines of messaging between the coaches and then the commissioner.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, usually at these events, everyone tries to stay pretty, PC, and you don't want to make headlines with anything that you say. But, yeah, I think there will definitely be some coaches that disagree with this approach. How they choose to handle it, I think, will be interesting to pay attention to, because there are certainly ways to voice that disagreement, I guess I'll say, without maybe causing too many headlines. But I definitely think we'll have, I don't know if fireworks is the right term, but definitely some more interesting questions to coaches and hopefully responses than we would have if this hadn't come out.
He is Patrick Murphy of Bucknuts with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Who else are you more interested to talk to tomorrow? And I know that Ryan Day's talking and you get the Buckeyes, Pat, but you're going to be out there for the whole banger. You'll stay through Michigan. Just from a general perspective, what are you kind of looking at of topics of intrigue? I know Cleveland.com's poll was posted today. Penn State, for the first time in 15 years since they've been doing that, as the preseason favorite or chosen team to win the Big Ten. Like, where are you at? Who are you most excited to talk to outside of the people in Buckeye land?
Yeah, I think it's always interesting when they come out with the schedule to see how they assign teams. Like, the time slots usually tell you a lot about what the Big Ten thinks. You got Ohio State closing things out tomorrow. You've got Penn State closing things out on Wednesday, and then Michigan on Thursday. So the big dogs of the Big Ten, so to speak. But, yeah, I mean, the Penn State thing is very interesting. We've talked about it quite a bit. Like, how do you handle these expectations that, you're Penn State, you've always had some expectations, but now it is this year, right? Or it's natty or bust, to use the Buckeye term from a year ago. So I think it'll be interesting to hear from those guys and how they plan to handle it. Obviously, the Michigan discussion on everything going on and bouncing back from such a disappointing year a year ago. I think, too, the new teams, I guess we could still call them new. Like, what is it like being in year two in the Big Ten as opposed to a year ago when everything was new and you were, just kind of getting used to this conference? Now you have at least some experience in it. And, like, a team like Oregon obviously went out and won the whole thing. So, yeah, there's a lot to be interested in, I think, for sure. And we'll try and cover as much of it as we can. But with that many teams going all in one day, it makes it a little difficult, I will say.
Pat, your focus is obviously Ohio State. So with camp just around the corner, what are you hoping to glean from, first Ryan Day, but maybe Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Smith, and Sonny Styles too?
Yeah, just what's kind of transgressed since the end of spring practice? Like, where has there been progress made? They are allowed to obviously do more on-field stuff with coaches in the summer than they have been in the past. So I think there is a possibility, as opposed to other years when maybe we, from spring practice to fall camp, nothing really happens and you're basically picking up where you left off. I do think that there's opportunities for guys who have, made a push if you were trying to contend for a job or maybe even, working into a backup role, who has stood out during some of these summer workouts that we don't get to see. Stuff like that, I think, is always interesting. And I've said it a lot this offseason. Ryan Day's approach on defending a national championship, he's not gone through this before, right? This is the first time. So it's one of the hardest things, I think, to do in sports is not only physically go out and do it, but then that mental aspect of getting everybody back up to go on another run. And that starts with him. I think he's done a good job so far this offseason and the way they've handled things over at the Woody. But now you're getting closer and the games are about to start. So does anything change with that?
Are you regretting not taking your morning flight that you had on the hopper and instead delaying until the evening flight, Pat?
No, because I did not sleep fantastic. As you know, Beam, it was my birthday over the weekend.
I do know that, actually.
Yeah, Sunday was a big recovery day. but the sleep was still not fantastic last night. So I was able to sleep in today instead of getting up. I think Hellwagon left his house at like 5:20 this morning to get on that flight. I don't know what time Austin and when Berm's flight was, but
probably then.
I'm just glad I'm glad I didn't have to deal with that. It would be nice to just be there and not worry about it. I think we land at like 9:25 Pacific time, but the sleeping in was necessary to kind of get some things done today. And I already forgot my tripod that I'm supposed to bring, so I'm still not batting 1,000 here.
Hey, would it shock you to find out that the Big Ten is not ready for Big Ten Media Days? Because when we were talking to Austin, he was like, yeah, Berm and I, you can't film on a casino floor. So we tried to get into the conference center and that they would not allow him, and they're in a very much big rush to like put everything together tomorrow.
No, it doesn't surprise me. Partially because Steve also mentioned this to me, that he's like, it doesn't even look like anything's happening out here at this
That's
point.
what you want for Media Days, right?
Yeah, well, I guess it's a new place, right? So it's not, you're not just setting up what you've done at Lucas Oil or the convention center in Chicago. But yeah, you'd hope that things, I did see somebody on Twitter posted the B1G logo was at something. So at least they have apparently gotten some stuff set up.
So last year when Oregon joined the Big Ten, they brought the duck, right? They brought the giant duck to Indianapolis and put it, or was it in Chicago last year?
No, it was Indy. You're right.
Oh, yeah. So they put it at some body of water in Indianapolis. Do you think there's going to be an appearance of the big duck on some big body of water? And what would that body of water be out in Las Vegas, Pat?
I think they should just put it on the back of a flatbed and take it right down the strip, just up and down the strip all day on the day that they go. Look, if you're going to set the precedent year one, why would you not continue it in year two, I guess is my question. So, yeah, I would not be surprised if we see the giant duck hanging out around Vegas. I don't know the bodies of water. The only places I've ever been in Vegas where it is wet, I will say, is the pool parties, which are one of my favorite things.
Yeah, maybe bring it there. You could take it over to Lake Mead, I believe, by the
Bellagio
Hoover Dam.
Fountain.
Yeah, put it right there, Dylan. Right in the Bellagio fountains, Pat. I think that would be a good idea.
That's a good point. Good point. I forgot about that.
Hey, before we get you out of here, so you land at 9:45. You're going to be drawn in by those sweet lights and sounds of the airport slot machines. What else are you doing tonight, though? Because I know you're not going right to your hotel room and going to sleep.
Well, I need to go talk to the hotel front desk because, as I mentioned, I forgot the tripod. So I ordered a cheap one on Amazon. Hopefully it will get delivered tomorrow morning, and I want to make them aware of that. But after that, I know there are some of our 247 sports people that are already out there. They may still be hanging out, so I may try and go meet up with them. It's always good to see those people. Hellwagon, as I mentioned, is already there, and I may have to go, bail him out, whatever the case may be. He's been there all day, which is a little concerning, especially since he's unsupervised. So we'll see what happens when we land and, turn the phone back on.
Murph, always appreciate the time. Have a safe flight, buddy, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
All right, good talking with you guys.
There he goes. Patrick Murphy at Bucknuts with us here at the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Since we've got our guy Dylan in tonight, we're going to do a little puck talk about the Jackets coming up in 2 minutes with him. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use law enforcement siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention, like telling you if you get a speeding ticket, it doesn't end there. You have to pay expensive fines. You can't go to your friend's wedding because that also costs money. And your insurance rates could increase. See? We didn't have to use law enforcement sirens after all. Getting a speeding ticket has consequences. Sooner or later, speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Get the long-lasting power you need with Energizer. Menards has the largest in-stock selection of Energizer batteries. They provide solid power for flashlights, remotes, and so much more. Right now, save big on Energizer batteries. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag Buckeyes Care.
As America's largest custom home builder, Schumacher Homes believes a top-quality home should be affordable for everyone in the Buckeye State. We work with the leading architects to bring you the latest in design, and then you have the ability to make changes. Not just selecting finishes, but moving walls, adding rooms, literally customizing anything from the ground up. It's a misconception that custom homes have to be expensive. We work within your budget to build an amazing home on your land. Visit SchumacherHomes.com or any of our 9 Ohio locations.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
4 out of 5 dentists recommend this show. The other dentist is a Michigan fan. Yuck. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out with Dylan Tyrer tonight. You're also going to join me on Friday, Dylan. So the schedule for this week, got Dane Sonsenbacher tomorrow.
Oh, my guy, Dane.
Yeah, love Dane.
Another Bears guy.
Yeah, he is a big Bears guy. Then we've got Tim May for the hour-long show on Wednesday, because then we'll go right into the Inside Edge at 7 o'clock. That was back as a couple of weeks ago. And then Tim May again on Thursday, live at Yogi's, and then you'll be back with us here on Friday. But since we were able to talk to Jackets insider Jeff Svoboda last week at the live Yogi's appearance, wanted to pick your brain. Camp's going to be here before you know it. Now, you've been through this team with multiple different iterations. Torts, and then
Brad Larson,
Lars, and then
Mike Babcock, Pascal Vincent.
Yeah, Mike Babcock was a pretty short run. Mm-hmm. Then you were with Pazzi, and then now, of course, Dean Evison. When you're watching camp start for the Jackets, can you get a vibe around the team? Because I know that Buckeye camp's starting here in 10 days, starting over next Thursday over at the Woody. Can you kind of get a vibe of this team, the way that they're coached, like straight out of the gates from like a training camp style?
Yeah, I think so for sure. And we did see that with Dean taking over at the start of last season. Just kind of the changes, the difference in the quality or style of practice, and you start to get that feel right off the bat. I think the real thing is when you start to see who he has playing together come together, you're like, oh, okay, I see what he's doing here. Oh, maybe he's going to try something over here. I think the best part of training camp is really the battles in the bottom six too, or maybe there's the 1 or 2 defensemen that are trying to make the roster. So that's something I'm curious with this year, with so much change in the Blue Jackets bottom six, and you have Luca Del Belbaluz in the conversation too, who he's going to be wanting to make the NHL team this year.
Nice year from him last year.
He flashed in his NHL time last year and was probably the Cleveland Monsters' best player last year. So I'm excited for all that. And the way that we were talking about Ohio State, and you find your identity maybe halfway through the season and you start to build from there. I think for an NHL team, it's really that first month, like that. You get through the start of the season, the first 5 or so games, you go on your first long road trip. And when you get back from that, it's like, okay, it's go time. We're going to see what we are. So a lot of continuity from the Blue Jackets last season, like not a whole lot of change. I think year 2 of Dean Evison, we'll see some differences there in that guys aren't learning as much anymore, that they know the systems, they know where they need to be, they know where they need to be off the ice, how they need to be off the ice.
The best part, too, of getting to talk to him last year and just getting to know him, it does seem like when you guys go on big road trips, when these guys are out on like a West Coast swing, if it's like, San Jose and then it's Vegas, and I know it finished up in Utah last year, which everybody was disappointed about. They only had the one night in Vegas instead of the 2. That he does seem to be pretty hands-off. Like, he kind of lets them do their own thing. And then he goes and sees a Broadway show somewhere and like just kind of hangs out by himself, gets up, will do yoga in the morning. But it does seem like, at least on the road, like these guys do have a pretty long leash, that it's more team policed than him doing that in the coaching staff.
He's like that here too. Yeah. Like at home, it's not like, he's constantly on the guys. When you show up and you're at the arena and his stuff starts, you're dialed in, obviously. But outside of that, like, he talked about it last year. Like, the guys just like to be at the rink and be around each other, so they are there a lot. But outside of that, like, it's hands off, right? Which I think is good. Like, I think he has a lot of confidence in himself, and he just he can sit in that big chair, if you know what I mean. Like, he's not an insecure guy to the point where he's like, okay, I need to over communicate, or I need to have a perfect plan for these guys all the time. Like, there's very much that I am a former NHL player. I know what it's like to be a player, and I'm kind of going to let you guys police yourselves. Like, I don't need to be that micromanager. So when it comes to accountability, I think that's the number one thing. It's like, don't mess around or I'm going to get on you. Otherwise, like, there's that mutual respect, which he is a player's coach in that regard, but he's also like a coach too.
Well, he can get in your grill for sure.
Exactly.
I mean, we saw a couple of moments last year, no doubt.
Exactly. And like, there have been those moments where he has to send a message where he's scratching a guy or benching a guy. And I think that's something that Blue Jackets fans have become accustomed to because Torts was here for so long. Like, he operates in some of those similar ways, but he's also just like a good guy, and he's like pretty relaxed and chill when it comes to like not being on the bench. Loves to golf. Golf. He's a fun guy to just kind of see around the rink, likes to joke around and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm a Dean guy, and just year two is like, I asked him about it on draft night a few weeks ago, pretty much a month ago at this point. And I kind of asked him about the differences he sees going into year two, or, what are some of the challenges of training camp and teaching guys. And he's like, I honestly don't think I'm going to need to do a lot of teaching because we have all these guys here that are going to teach the new guys on this team. And I think that's, the Blue Jackets every year say, oh, we've got such a tight-knit room. This is the best group of guys I've ever been around. Obviously, what happened at the start of last year with Johnny Gaudreau passing deepened that.
Absolutely,
like there's no doubt, like that's naturally going to happen. And I think last year we saw that with this group of guys, that they were actually a family. Like, guys were talking about it differently last year. There's something different in that room, and there are also some expectations, and I think they're very, very motivated to just keep that up, first of all. Like, it's a lot of the same guys, but just build on what they were able to do. So I think that's, there's so much that goes into training camp, and, it all starts when the regular season games start. Like, that's when it gets real, but I think you're going to see that, like, We'll find out quick, like, how serious the Blue Jackets are.
I think it's funny, you talk to anybody over there in the organization, and they kind of echo the same sentiments that you just had there. Like, the season starts really when you take your first big road trip.
Yeah.
And you come together as a team, and then you get 6 points, or you don't get any points like they did early on last year, like one of their first big swings. But I do think that grows the team, and not every team is like the Columbus Blue Jackets in that case. I mean, you can talk about being close-knit and liking each other, and to your point, you're around these guys more than I am, but like, they actually love to be around each other, which is something that from a professional sports aspect, like, you don't see a whole lot of. Like, guys get in, they do their business, they're there when they need to be, and then they get out. They've got their lives, you got wives, you got kids running around, all kinds of crazy different things. But when these guys are together, like, they really do love each other.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, I equate it to, am I best friends with the people that I work with? Some of them, but
sure.
Some other people, no. It's the same way on the hockey team.
You have coworkers out here listening to this right now. I'm like, am I on that list for Dylan?
Yeah. Right. It's the same way on the hockey team, and I always think about it too. Like, if I were on the Blue Jackets, would all these guys be my best friends, or would some of these guys be my best friends, or would none of these guys be my best friends? And it's like, wow, there are still like cliques on the team. Like, you can tell these guys are really good buddies. There's the Russians. There's the young guys.
Are they just like over in their entirely separate corner? Or are they integrated?
Well, that's the thing. There are those cliques, but everybody is also integrated. Like, we're very fortunate in that we get to like be in the dressing room, and it's not like all the Russians are sat next to each other. Everybody's kind of spread out in the room, and that's on purpose. Dean wanted it that way. But like, everybody loves Dmitry Voronkov, or everybody's messing with Kirill Marchenko. There's crosstalk, there's chatter, and even though there's that supposed like language barrier, it doesn't really exist. My favorite thing is to walk in the room and the Russians are just yapping in Russian. I'm like, what are they saying about me right now?
They're definitely talking trash.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, looking at you laughing, talking Russian. But no, everybody, like, it's so funny. Like, you can walk in there and there's an inside joke between Kent Johnson, who sits in the back right of the room, and Dmitry Voronkov, who sits in the front left of the room.
You two guys have nothing in common.
Yeah, they're just gazing at each other, like laughing about something. Like, one of my favorite things early in I think it was in training camp last year, was like Dmitry Voronkov was beating up on Justin Danforth, like joking with him.
Great.
And that's like when Voronkov, like, at that point, Voronkov was starting his second year in the NHL, literally can't speak English. what did Justin Danforth and Dmitry Voronkov have in common? It's like, oh, they're playing with each other right now. That's when you could tell it's like, okay, this group is a little bit different.
Do you have a favorite destination to visit, or just your favorite moment of being involved with the team so far through your years of doing that?
Well, I was there for the sweep of Tampa. I think the Stadium Series gets on top of that. For me, it was so cool. I got to be ringside for that game doing the...
They didn't have you up on the camera deck like doing student radio?
We were in the exact spot, so that's where I did the pre- and post-game from. But
Did you get all the feels rushing back to you?
I sent the shot to all my buddies from student radio, and I was like, guys, look where we're calling the game from, and they were so fired up.
I got my jersey in the rafters back here.
That was nice. It was dusty as it always is,
Yeah, nice.
but that was nice, too, because... nobody from the NHL knew anything about the camera deck, and I was like, guys, I got you. I'll tell you what it's like.
Don't worry.
But I was freezing my butt off down there. It was so cold my phone stopped working during the game. But that was really cool, doing the intermissions while the pyro from 21 Pilots was messing with the radio waves, and I couldn't hear anything going on was cool. But destination-wise, I love going to Montreal.
Everyone says Montreal. You ask anybody... either with the Jackets or just involved in the NHL. No, it's either number 1 or number 2 on everybody's list.
It's just like Little Europe, and the games are awesome. I would say my number 1, though, is Vancouver. I love Vancouver. I think
West
it
Coaster.
is so sweet. Vancouver is awesome. So many good NHL cities, like so many cool places to go, but I really love Vancouver. There's a soft spot there for some reason. Just a sick city.
I would like to go out there.
You should, and then you can go to Victoria. It's right there. Victoria is really cool too.
It's an island, right? Victoria is.
Yeah, so it's Vancouver Island, and Victoria is the kind of the main city, kind of on the tip of the island. It's probably an hour or so ferry ride from Vancouver, which is a cool ferry ride. I called games for a collegiate woodbat baseball team right out of college, and one of the teams was in Victoria. So we had to go up. We drove up to Vancouver. I was in Bellingham, Washington, which is like 30 minutes south of the border. Drove up to Vancouver, took the ferry across to Victoria, saw like whales on the way over there. You're weaving between these really like small evergreen islands with homes on them. There's like 1 or 2 houses. It's
like
really
in like a David Attenborough documentary.
It is so sick. Like just it is that part of the world is just really cool. So I'd highly recommend going there. And Vancouver, also a really nice food scene. So just a cool city.
Hashtag Buckeyes coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Now's a great time to save on cherries. Fresh picked red cherries are on sale for only $2.99 a pound with your digital coupon. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Come on over to Heartland and
Join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Irish Adventure awaits at the Dublin Irish Festival August 1st through 3rd in Dublin, Ohio. Voted 2025 USA Today Best Cultural Festival in the nation. This year promises 3 incredible days of Irish music, dance, food, and fun. Enjoy unique Irish experiences as you explore one of the top festivals in the U.S., drawing over 90,000 guests to Dublin, Ohio each year. Get your tickets at dublinirishfestival.org.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. My guys at Germain are celebrating their biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. Tons of vehicles on the lot for you to choose from, and they're ready to deal. It's also the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99%. I was riding in my Lexus on one of our hot summer days, and I felt the crisp breeze of cold air on my cracky. Don't you want that for yourself? Of course you do. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at the Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Before we get out of here tonight, take you to Reds baseball. Coming up, 8 o'clock. They're currently down 7-2. But it is the top of the 4th. They do have runners on first and second with no outs. So they could potentially be getting some runs across here.
Don't update anybody on what happened, because that's a great tease going into the game. Find out what happened to the runners on.
Exactly. So you'll stay tuned to find out. Before we get out of here, our fan poll at 971thefan.com or on X at 971thefan. Dylan, you mentioned this a little bit earlier. There are 3 golfers who have won 10 or more major championships in their career: Jack, Tiger, and Walter Hagen. Do you think one day Scotty Scheffler becomes the 4th name added to that list? Yes or no? He's playing pretty good at the minute. Were you watching the Open Championship broadcast yesterday?
Heck yeah.
We were all locked into it at Portrush. Looked awesome. Looks like a great place to be in Northern Ireland. You know, their second son, Rory, was cool. Him coming up 18, but I did find it. Not a big Rory guy?
I really was rooting for Rory to win the Masters, but I'm questioning his level of juice since then.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you win the career Grand Slam, I feel like
it's pretty cool.
Anything else would kind of just be a letdown. And he had talked about that this week too.
Like, I just wanted him to like really put on a show this weekend. You know, like, I don't know.
He didn't. Well, he had a good week though. I mean, what was it? He finished 6th.
Yeah.
You know,
like he played well.
I would take that, but for his expectations, probably not what he wanted to live up to. I did see on the TV, like on the broadcast coverage, the graphic that they popped up with, and it was very eerie. So the time between Tiger won his first major and his 4th major was 1,197 days. The time that between Scotty Scheffler winning his first major and then winning yesterday was also 1,197 days. I'm like, I don't know if because Scotty had such a big lead that there was nothing else to do and like talk about on the broadcast other than comparing him to Tiger. Like, you start echoing even out loud like a guy getting to double-digit majors. It's a crazy thing to say. But if there was one guy that could potentially be able to do it, I think Scotty's your guy.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's nobody else right now that I think does it. I think the career Grand Slam is definitely there for Scotty.
Yeah, needs a U.S. Open?
Needs a U.S. Open. For whatever reason, I've got a funny feeling about Winged Foot in 2028.
Okay.
There's something telling me that, so put your future in right now.
Is that Shinnecock next year?
Scotty at Winged Foot. Shinnecock 2026, Pebble in 2027, which I could see him potentially winning there. That would kind of be golf poetry, too. Completing the career Grand Slam at Pebble would be cool.
You ever been out there before?
I have not played there, but I've been to the golf course, and I've gone to the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, which is really cool. Just a sick area. Would love to play over there.
We went out a couple of years ago when Gary Woodland won his U.S. Open. We went to the U.S. Open. We went to Sunday over there. Pictures don't do it justice. TV doesn't do it justice.
You've got to go.
It's literally one of the most gorgeous places on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm. It is sick.
The Monterey that's right next to it, it's in the town of Monterey.
Monterey is cool.
Monterey is a really cool downtown area. So if you have a chance and you want to go do something sports-wise, Pebble Beach in 2027. Go and do that. So you got a feeling that it's going to happen at Winged Foot, huh?
There's something about it. I like Scotty at Winged Foot. Something about it. I could
talk
definitely
about a
see
futures
Pebble,
bet.
But that's I was trying to find it the other day because I was just looking up future U.S. Open sites and something about Winged Foot was speaking to me. So we'll see. Hey, maybe Scotty's not even playing in 2028.
He might. Who knows?
Who cares?
I mean,
nothing matters.
He may have just passed the torch to Bennett, his son. He was by the way, he was having a great time yesterday. Shout out to him. He was decked out in his Nike sweatsuit, had the pacifier in, running up, falling down, trying to get to the claret jug. I'm like, that is a infant / trying to move into toddlerhood if I've ever seen that. They're just little drunk people is all they are.
There was a real missed opportunity by Scotty because if you watch the video with audio of him kind of running up the hill, the great UK fans were doing what they do where he'd run and they go, oh.
So
Scotty
good.
should have raised him the trophy. He missed out on doing that because they would have gone crazy, but that was pretty sweet. He's the same size as the claret jug too, which I thought was pretty cool.
He was the perfect size as the claret jug was.
Perfect. Those pictures are going to go crazy when he's an adult.
Now, I know that you are obviously a hockey guy, and Lordo's pretty cool. You know, that'd be one of the cooler trophies to ever have possession of. There's something about the claret jug. It's by far the best trophy that they have in golf.
Yeah, I think so.
I think any cup that you can physically drink out of after winning is by far the best.
I will also say, so when you win one of these tournaments, you also get like a chrome thing of the clubhouse too,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure, which if you haven't seen one of those, Google it. Those are pretty sick. Like an underrated thing to get for also winning. Like I've been over there at Muirfield and kind of seen him in there, like the clubhouse trophy. That's a sick trophy just to get a miniature of a golf clubhouse.
Yeah,
it's not even like
there,
miniature.
no big deal.
It's pretty large, but the claret jug is awesome. Like there's history to it. It's not even like a drinking vessel necessarily either.
It's more of a pouring vessel, but you would want to drink that.
But to drink out of it would be so cool.
What would you rather drink out of, the Stanley Cup or the claret jug?
Stanley Cup. I mean, I work in hockey, so like
you're gonna answer that.
Stanley Cup. I just love to lift that. Oh man, someday.
It's gonna happen.
I hope so.
It's gonna happen. You know how many beers fit in the Stanley Cup?
Enough.
It's like 20 something, isn't it? It's a lot.
I don't know. I feel like it would be a lot.
I feel like it is. It's a rather large trophy.
Yeah. Oh God. Don't get me started thinking about that.
That'd be the best tasting beer you've ever had.
I was
in your
literally
life.
just gonna say I can taste right now just like the metallic taste on my lips.
Tastes
with the
like
beer hitting it.
Tastes like a natty.
Oh my God.
That's what it tastes like.
Oh my God. That sounds good.
It does sound good.
Don't get me going over here.
Yeah, I think a nice beverage out of the claret jug would be good, but I'm with you. I think the Stanley Cup would be cooler. The fact that you can't just drink it yourself, like you need the actual help of somebody else lifting it up to get it to your mouth, I think is something that makes it way more of a fun activity.
I think something cool too with the claret jug is like, can you really like see how high the pour is in there? So maybe you just overflow the claret jug and slurping it right off the top. Oh, the claret jug would be pretty darn cool. Like I know Cam Smith did some damage on that thing.
I think Shane Lowry, when he was at Portrush and he won in Northern Ireland, may have done the most damage with any claret jug of all time.
Guinness out of the claret jug. Oh, that's special.
It just means more. It's like the SEC. You know, it just means more when you're an Irish fella and then you win in Northern Ireland and you're all good. What do you got going the rest of the week, buddy? You're going to be back in here on Friday. What do you got happening? Any golf lined up?
Yeah, I'm playing tomorrow and Wednesday, I believe. Those are usually my standing tee times. I'm going to fill in on Rothman and Ice on Thursday.
Nice.
And then I'm with you on Friday. I believe I'm doing a Fan Sports Sunday this weekend, too, so I'll probably see Nate then.
We got an hour then?
Yeah, so a lot of work on the airwaves here and getting ready for my wedding that's in 2 weeks' time.
All right, buddy, that's huge. Where are you getting married at?
I can't say that.
No. Are you getting married here, like locally, or is it a destination?
No, we will be here in Columbus.
Okay. You don't have to give out the location.
I will be at Jorgensen Farms getting married. So
nice.
that is where it's happening.
That's
Shout
awesome.
out Jorgensen.
Big congratulations to you. It's a fun time, man. I will say this. Take in everything from your wedding day, because before you know it, it's over. Like all the planning and everything that goes into it, it seems like it takes forever to get there. And then you'll wake up in the morning. At least I had bubble guts like the whole day. And then just take it in. Just take it in, because it really does fly by.
That's one of the things I have like Scotty was talking about. I have a problem in life, like really kind of living in the moment. I'm always kind of thinking about doing the next thing. That's one of those days that I'm really going to try and be present and just remember it all, because it's the first time in a long time I'll have all my family, all my friends in the same place. So fired up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Dylan had a great time with you tonight. We'll talk to you again on Friday. Dane Sonsenbacher is in with us tomorrow. We will get you to our nation's capital, to Washington, D.C. Reds baseball is up next on The Fan.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we air all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony. I actually enjoy the offseason. Gives me a chance to be really active, travel, be on the move. But when my back started giving me pain, I wasn't going to just deal with it this time. I went to the Good Feet store. Their personally fit arch supports got my feet into their ideal alignment, and I could already feel the difference in my back immediately. And they educated me. I had no clue. We actually have several arches under our feet, and those cushy over-the-counter insoles were not going to do the trick. So many people suffering with pain can benefit from their system. People with pain in their feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, hips, and more. I've been wearing my personally fit arch supports for a while now, and they've given me the motivation and confidence to be as active as I want to be. The Good Feet store thrives on being solution-oriented. Go in. The fitting is free. They want you to try them in the store and feel them for yourself. So get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City and on Polaris Parkway. Or check them out at goodfeet.com.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership is better than ever. Save up to $1,100 each year on gas, groceries, delivery fees, and streaming options. With double fuel points, unlimited free delivery, and exclusive savings for members, there's so much to love about Boost. Sign up for a Boost membership today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are